Hello everyone, welcome to Edge Time. Today I wanted to share with you all my thoughts on the CJRB bolt after a couple weeks of use. So this knife has done its job so far over the past couple weeks. It hasn't really let me down. There have been a few things, however, that I would like to point out with the CJRB bolt. So I got this knife the Monday after Blade Show, I believe it was, when it arrived. So it's been uh, just over a couple weeks, I believe, since then. This knife has seen a lot. I am a landscaper, and so I use my knives quite hard. I have put this one through its paces. I normally don't use knives as hard as I've used this one. I just wanted to see if this one could stand up to the test. When this knife first came out, I sort of saw it as a knife that would instantly grab a lot of people's attention, being an affordable crossbar lock with this little shark lock appendage here. So I figured that this would immediately get a lot of attention. It would people would be looking to it as a sort of budget workhorse. So I wanted to make sure that it really could stand up to the use and abuse that the new people were going to want to put it through. So after a couple weeks of hard use, I can say that yes, it will stand up to that abuse. There are a couple strange little things that I would like to point out with it, but overall, it is a good knife. So the first thing is that when I did my disassembly for it, my disassembly video, when I put it back together, I don't think I showed it on screen, but it immediately after putting it back together, it developed a tremendous amount of lock stick, and also the pivot started binding, or the lock started binding really bad right around here. And since then, I have used it heavily, and then right before making this video, I cleaned it out really well, took it apart, just gave it a really good deep cleaning, and the lock stick is mostly gone, and that bind point in the lock is totally gone. It is buttery smooth now. It was grinding extremely hard for about a week or so. But today, I'm not sure what I did. Maybe I did something terribly wrong on my first reassembly. But either way, it is working very well now. Very smooth. It'll drop shut both with the crossbar and with the dorsal fin here. So, yeah. That issue has somehow resolved itself. I'm not sure how that happened, but yeah, so now it is perfectly smooth. So just be aware that that could happen. You could take apart your CJRB bolt and everything is perfectly normal, and then go to put it back together and find that it has developed a tremendous amount of lock stick. I'm sure that I'll eventually figure out, or maybe I won't, but I hope I'll eventually figure out why that happened the first time. But either way, the issue has been resolved. It is perfectly smooth now, so thankful for that. Let's see, the other thing was, and I will put a picture of this here in the video right about here, but as you can see by that picture, right here underneath both sides of the pivot, like back towards this side of the handle, I'm not sure if it has worn through to where you can actually see light through the scale this way, or if it was made that way. I really should have looked closer the first time I had this thing apart, and I still do need to look closely at my disassembly video and see if I can see that little gap in there. It looks strange to me. This last time I took the knife apart, I hadn't seen that before, and so I wondered if maybe if that was the reason that it was binding, and that I was wearing that out by continuing to use it when the pivot was grinding really bad. I don't know. But yeah, that is one weird little thing. It doesn't seem to affect the action of the knife, but be aware that on this one at least that is there, and that might just be a standard feature on these, or mine might just be a bit of a lemon. And this early in the production run, I don't expect this to be an absolutely perfect knife. This knife was literally just released. It might take a few months, maybe even a year or so, for them to completely work the hiccups out of it, which is normal. So yeah, I'm not expecting perfection, especially at this price point. This thing was, I believe, just over $40, and it is an excellent knife for the price. You're getting a nice long blade of AR RPM 9 here, excellent steel. It holds an edge like a champ. This one was heat treated extremely well. It's very easy to sharpen, and you're not going to take that edge away easily. This thing is just very well designed overall and very well heat treated. Beautiful full flat grind. I love the shape of this blade. It's sort of like, it's like a clip point, but it has this little rise right here, and just very well shaped blade. The one thing I will say about the blade shape though that might be a little aggravating is that when you are making long cuts through fabric, this choil here can tend to, the fabric or other material that you're cutting can tend to slip down in there. I was cutting weed fabric or just barrier fabric for putting down river rock, and I noticed that the fabric was wanting to slide in there. So that is one thing that you'll just have to be aware of. It's not a big deal, but that whatever you're cutting can tend to fall down into the choil there. So just a little note there about the cutting performance. But yeah, everything else about the knife I love. The pocket clip is great, this typical CJRB pocket clip. The only thing about the CJRB pocket clips, which these are pretty universal, like on the Echo here, this is a prototype Echo, it's the same clip, and on my production Echo as well, CJRB usually uses the same clip. So, yeah, and it's a good clip too. I just wish maybe it was a bit shorter, but it does its job. It's classy, it's easy to work with. So, and one nice thing about this knife, as opposed to most of the other knives that I own, is that these are T8 body screws, which is a major improvement. Unfortunately, the clip screws are still T6, and it probably would have been a bit of a pain to change them over as a T8 because they would have had to differentiate to a different pocket clip, but yeah, it works just fine. You just have to have 2 bits to take this thing apart. I'd like to see more knives that only require 1 bit, just one T8, but yeah, this is okay. G10 is nice and grippy. I've already done an overview of this knife. I'm not going to measure it again or anything, but yeah, overall, I can say this is a good knife for the money. You're getting quite a bit of bang for your buck here. I've actually had this blade accidentally coated in Gorilla Glue twice, and I've scraped it all off with a razor blade twice. And the razor blade did not scratch this steel. This is very hard steel. So, well, I guess I wouldn't really expect a razor blade to scratch most knife steels, but still, it was nice just being able to just scrape it off there. And I really shouldn't have gotten Gorilla Glue on it, but on the project that I was working on, it was sort of inevitable. So that's not something that I would normally do to my knives, but for testing purposes, for testing what is likely to become a very popular EDC knife, I figure whatever I throw at it, it should be able to take it. And so that's sort of the spirit that I've gone into this knife with, that it doesn't matter what I throw at it, it should be able to take it. And if it can't, then we have a problem. I mean, there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do with this knife, like batoning it. I would not baton this knife. That is abuse of a knife. But basically what I'm getting at is that this knife should be able to do anything any other EDC knife can do. So that's why I've been using it a little bit harder than my other knives. Just wanted to make sure that it'll stand up to perhaps a little bit of a harder everyday use. So, if any of that made any sense, I hope some of that made sense. But yeah, there has been my more refined, maybe less refined, but we'll say more refined thoughts on the CJRB bolt after a couple weeks of use. So, just a real quick conclusion. If any of you are confused at all, which I wouldn't be surprised, I'm very tired and I'm sort of rambling at this point, but if any of you are perplexed at this point, the summary is, this is a good knife. I would get it. It is worth every penny, and it will only get better as time goes on. So, with that, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I should be coming out with a few more, or with another video of the weekend, hopefully. And I hit 50 subscribers this morning, which means that soon I will be able to start live streaming. So, like I said, hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day.